Welcome to self-discoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Sarah's View of Life. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. So, what do we have to do when we have to change the ways? Well, I'm counting the ways to change. If one approach doesn't work, then we have to try another. Throughout my life, I have consistently had to pivot regardless of my plans. There always seems to be something that pushes me into a different direction. Had I been rigid and inflexible, I would have crumbled long ago. It's not to say that I haven't resisted change at times or hesitated to take a new path. Sometimes it took me a while to recognize the need for the shift, but in the end, change was inevitable. This doesn't imply that the idea of the project isn't valuable. It might simply mean that the timing wasn't right. It needs to have a different approach or some fine-tuning. Trust your gut. It often knows the way. But how can we truly hear and comprehend its whispers? By silencing the noise around us and finding tranquility. Delve deep and tune into that inner wisdom that resides within. I call it the knowingness. Knowing what you need to know when you need to know it. We are always guided, and when we allow that guidance to happen, it will lead us to where we need to be next. Throughout my life, I faced countless challenges that tested my resolve. And with time and experience, I've learned to discern what deserves my energy and what needs to be released. Rather than overthinking, which we all do, I found it more fruitful to trust my feelings and my intuition. Let it guide me to whether to persevere or to pivot. We can all do this. We can be still, we can be quiet, we can feel in, block out, and just let what needs to be, be. Well, are you at that place in your life at the present moment? Are you in that space where you're having to look at something and go, is it working the way it is? Do I need to pivot? I have just faced this right now. I had 2 or 3 things facing me. Which way was I meant to go? And I know that by worrying about it or trying to overthink it, I was not going to get anywhere. I have just come back from the UK where I had a month away. And in that month, I had time to kind of let things settle in my mind, settle in my heart, settle in my knowingness. Now, there was one way I could have gone on one thing, and it would have been really good for me, but the amount of work that it would have taken at this present time was more than the energy I could give it. So I am going to go in that direction, but with someone else, because they are dedicating their time to doing the promotion and everything around it. And this is the Roku TV. Yes, I'm going to be on Roku TV up in front of 73, 74 million possible listeners or viewers. And so there is going to be a different price point on my shows for people who want to be on that or just want to be on my platform. That was number one. Number two is the book. I did not raise the money for the book that I wanted to raise in order to go with a publisher. So I'm having to pivot and go in a different way. I am going to do an ebook for our Forgotten Children series. And from that, we're going to do a whole video platform on promoting the book. And then we are going to do author by author. We're going to do an educational platform that people will pay to come to listen to the people who wrote the chapter on solutions that need to be found in raising our children. That will then pay for the paperback and the audiobooks to come out, where there will be more promotion to go out there. That was number 2 decision. Number 3 decision was my own book. My own book, I could have kept going back, keep changing the chapters, keep worrying at it. And I had to surrender. I gave my brother the entire book to edit, and I'm not even sure I gave him the updated one. But at this point, it is what it is. And what goes out is what goes out. So my own book, my own personal book, my self-discovery will be out by the end of November and up on Amazon, just as an ebook. And I would take it from there and see where it goes. And then I have my home. Before I went away, there was a direction that was being presented that I wasn't extremely fond of. I would have gone because it would have meant being with my daughter and my grandchildren, but it also would have meant being pulled away from my other children. And my son went and got engaged, and they plan to have a child of their own in the future, and I don't want to be pulled away from them. That has now changed, and it looks like it's going back to the other of me just moving closer. So sometimes when you step back and you go, okay, I called it balls up in the air a few shows back. They're up there waiting to land. And systematically, one by one, they are landing. But if I wasn't flexible, if I wasn't willing to change, if I wasn't willing to pivot, if I wasn't willing to try a different way, then I would be in chaos. I would be in flux. I would be in anxiety. Is it ideal? The book? No. Had I wished that we had got the funding in order to have the publisher? Absolutely. Wish this had happened and that had happened? Well, a whole lot of wishing isn't going to get it happening. So instead, you look at what's in front of you. What can I do in the now? I can't do this. What can I do? And that is the premises of my life. It's to do with my physicality. I can't do this, but I can do that. It's to do with my educational ability. I can't do this, but I can do that. And it's always about what can you do? And we don't know what we can do until we try, until we move forward and make it happen. So I am doing what I'm doing today. All the podcasting, 11 and a half years, 10 and a half years, my own network. I do all the editing. And yes, you saw a show last week that went out with Phil Mora all over it because Phil Mora has screwed up my whole video platform. And while I'm waiting for them to fix it, which I think we're on the 6th email now, I just put the video out with Phil Mora across it. Because sometimes take a breath, let it go, let it get out there, and I'll correct it later when everything else is done. Yes, I get frustrated, mostly on stupid things like sites being blown, links being blown, things that were meant to happen are not happening, because as we go more and more and more to automation, we are at the mercy of everything working perfectly on those particular platforms. And when they don't, we're the humans to correct it. I'm very pro AI, I'm very pro other things being done, but at the same time, we still need the human beings to follow up when things don't go right and to be there for customer service. So I do get frustrated, folks. Believe me, because my bank didn't allow me to second validate any other way than my cell phone. And I was in England, so that meant roaming and that meant charges. I ended up trying to get into my bank only to find out I was blocked because I was overseas, even though I told them I was going to be overseas. And apparently there's an app I could have downloaded that no one told me about. And now I have a $70 bill. So joy, oh joy, right? Joy, oh joy. But got it sorted out. I'm back in my bank account now. They're giving me $20 towards my 70, and I'll have to swallow the other 50. Sometimes let it out, take a deep breath in, and move on, as I've got things to do. So systematically going through all these wonderful changes and these pivots and doing what I need to do in any which way I need to do it. I will not compromise my vision, my heart, my soul. I will not compromise my well-being. But when it comes to pivoting and trying something different and just trying to do it another way, I will do that. So What are you facing right now? What are you facing that you're going to have to pivot or go in a totally new direction, or maybe even abandon the project altogether? It's okay, you know. You don't know how many things that I've had to let go of and go, okay, it didn't work out. Only to find out later, it wasn't meant to work out. It was what I was meant to learn while doing that that led me to being able to do what I'm doing now. So sometimes when there's a closed door in something, that wasn't meant to be. It was just giving you skills and tools that you needed for what you are meant to be doing. So don't sweat it. Don't sweat the small stuff, as they say. Take that deep breath. Okay, I'm stepping back for you to show me how to step forward. Trust the feeling. Trust the wisdom. Let go of the fear. Let go of the panic. Let go of all that other stuff that gets in our way. And just be willing to be flexible. I am the willow tree. Strong-rooted, strong trunk. But the reason I chose the willow tree because those branches know how to flow in the wind. And I'm flowing in the wind, folks. But I'm sturdy and I'm strong and I will not break. So until next week, may your changes be good and may they be fruitful and may they be easy when you decide to let them be. Bye for now, folks. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tag at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.